on my head. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. I know I'm a minute early, but I'm just testing the equipment. So good evening, anybody that's a minute early with me. Oh, hi Samantha. It's working.
Well, it's not working here.
Oh. Well, it's working here, which is the most important thing. Oh, good evening. Oh, hello, Michelle. Oh, gosh, I'm so pleased somebody's watching. Oh, thank you ever so much. Hi, Penny. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Oh, hi, Philippa. Hi, Philippa. Hi, Karen. Hi, Jane. Oh, I'm so pleased it's working.
It's not working.
Hi, Lynn. Oh, hello, Julie. It's our leader. Hi, Irene. Hi, Sue. Oh, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, Tina. Oh, this is so lovely. Oh, this is my... Hi, Brian. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Penny. Oh, hello, lovely. Oh, haven't the lives been absolutely lovely? Hi, Sue. Oh, it's ages since I've seen Sue. Hi, Chris. Hi, Kim. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story when we get going. Hi, Donna. Oh, thank you, Philippa. I thought I'd put a bit of colour on because I'm looking... Hi, Pamela. Oh, hi, Caroline. I've seen Caroline on Sunday and John. It's lovely to see you, Sue. Hi, Jean. I did say, Jean, that if nobody else watched it, I know that Jean will be watching.
That's Skeggy Jean.
It is Skeggy Jean. Hi, Tracy. Oh, thank you. Hi, Donna. Hi, Hazel. Oh, fabulous live last night. I was a few minutes getting in late, but I caught most of it. Yeah, and yours, Tracy. It's been... Oh, hi, Norma. It's just been so fantastic this week, hasn't it? Yeah. Oh, here's my other Jean. Hi, Jean. Hi, Patsy. Oh, this is fabulous. Oh, this is fantastic. I'll just give it another minute because I know that we were a little bit early. If that's all right with Julie. I was sort of like, hi, Yvonne. Oh, thank you. I was just saying, Philippa mentioned that. And hi, Andreen. Oh, that's a pretty name, Andreen. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Julie. Oh, thank you, Jean. Thanks for popping in. Oh, yeah, I was just saying, I'm looking a little bit peaky. I think I'm getting a bit rusty with all this rain. I know we've all had it. Hi, Susie. Hi, Anne. Oh, it's been, yeah, Philippa, it's been brilliant. You've done an amazing job sorting it. Hi, Katie. Hi, Julie. Hi, Lynn. Oh, this is so fabulous. I'm so chuffed. I really am. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jean. Hi, Julie. Hi, Catherine. I'm sorry if I've said hi to people twice. Mark's trying to get in on the laptop, but he doesn't seem to be doing... it seems to have frozen up. So come out of it and come back in, Mark. But we've got the main thing, which is here. And I don't...
Me?
No, I mean the camera. Yeah. Right, okie dokie. So just oh, Caroline's saying hi, Dave. Oh. It's actually Mark, but that's just a bit of a private joke between us and Caroline. So don't worry about it. Sometime when we've got a few more minutes to spare, I'll explain it all. Hi, Jax. Yeah, so anyway, thank you so much everybody that's coming in to see the live. So it's Thursday, is it Thursday? Yes, Thursday. Oh gosh, the days fly so quickly. So Thursday, and what an amazing week it's been. This is actually my very first live. Oh hi Yolanda, that's a lovely name. Shrouder, no. Yeah, yeah. Mark's here, Brian. You're not the only guy.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, it's my very first live for Julie, and because as you know, I've only just become one of Julie's design team crew, and I am absolutely thrilled to bits, to say the least. As you all know, Julie and I have been friends for, I'm not quite sure how many years, Julie, but I think it's knocking on about 17 or 18 at least. And yeah, so I was thrilled to bits when Julie asked me to come on the team, because we are very lucky to be stockists of Julie's, all of Julie's products as well. And yeah, so Mark sorts all that side of it out, and I just play. It is at least 18 years. Yes. Yeah, I just play with everything, so I get the really smashing end of the bargain. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to do a project using the Tree of Life. Now, I don't actually have the card. My intention today was to actually make another one of the design, but I got wrapped up with lots of other things, and then all of a sudden I decided that I really needed to tidy my desk, because I thought, well, if everybody's coming round to my place, as in here tonight, I needed to tidy my desk. So I tidied my desk. So, but that doesn't matter, because we can talk it through and see what how it's going to pan out. So hi Liz. We've had lots of publicity as well. Philippa very, very kindly has made some beautiful photography and some lovely videos with everything on. So I think you'll have seen it, that we're actually doing the tree, using the tree, but we're going to use it in a slightly different way to make a wreath. Now, this is not for the faint-hearted that doesn't like fussy cutting, but it is a lovely project. So I think it would be worth doing. So yes, so as I said, Mark is with me, and he's my crew, and if he says he's the runner, he's the crew. But I wondered if we could just flip. Yeah, could you just, Mark? We're just going to tilt down. We don't have any fancy equipment, not too much fancy equipment, so we're going to have to manually pop it down. But we've been having a go, so we think we're all right. So bear with us a second.
Hold tight.
Yeah, I'm holding tight. There we go. Are we in the middle? There, I think that's about it. Okie dokie. So there we go. That's smashing. Thank you. That's lovely. I think has Mark got onto? Have you got onto the site now, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, marvellous.
It's slightly delayed.
Oh, we're just slightly delayed on the laptop, but that will catch up, I know. Are we okay for the... yep, smashing. Okay. Well, thank you ever so much, like I say, for joining me. And at the moment, we have pretty much a blank page here. But hopefully, by the time that we finish, in approximately an hour, we should have something really lovely and some inspiration for you. So... that's Mark's blood meter going off. We didn't anticipate that, but that's because it's too high and not too low, so don't worry. Right, so what we are going to be using is, we're actually going to be using this fantastic stamp from Julie's, obviously Julie's new collection. This is what we've all been basing our fabulous lives all week on, and this one actually is... I shouldn't have favourites. I'm sorry, Julie. It's my top favourite. That's how I'm going to approach this. This is my top favourite.
You're upside down. You are upside down.
I'm upside down. Yeah. Am I upside down, Julie? Oh my lordy lord. Oh, Mark, I'm upside down. Right, just bear with. I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, and we thought we'd sorted it.
It's because you're on.
Right, sorry, everybody. Oh dear, there we go. How are we doing?
Just a minute. Yeah, you're in the right way around now.
Are we the right way round now? Could somebody just tell me?
Yes. Yeah, we're getting plenty of thumbs.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. I suppose you didn't notice really until I put the tree there and then it was upside down. But you never know, you could use the tree upside down, you know, us crafters. Is that okay now? Yeah? Super. Right, so we're going to be using the Tree of Life. The reason why I love this stamp is I adore the rest of them and I've really had a load of fun at using them. But this one, personally, I think we can use all year round. Yes, there are a couple of little pieces on here that do hint at Christmas. Obviously the words the joy, love and peace, but also with that we've also got family. We've got that lovely, let me turn that round, we've got that beautiful saying at the bottom which I absolutely love, and we've got kindness as well, which I think it's really important to have that word in some of our projects. So we've also got these two fabulous tags. Now, I've had a little bit of a play with this, but I really do feel that these tags would make a terrific frame. And I've got this idea in mind that I'm going to have a play with. It won't be until Monday of next week, but when I do, obviously I will share it on the Crafting with Julie, obviously, and also the Julie Hickey Designs page, because I don't know, it might not work, but I've just seemed to think that I think it might actually if we just have a little play around with it. Right, so okay, I'll leave that to one side. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring in the basis of the card here. So what we're also going to be using, we've got actually, it's actually a 6x6 card. I've also got a piece of glitter card, which is actually, that might be a little bit bigger than the 6x6. I might have maybe over egged that a little bit. Right, I'm going to go centimetres, so it's almost 17 centimetres square. And then I've got a piece of non-shed glitter card, which is 15 centimetres square. Now, obviously, you don't have to use this. Any of the ideas that I'm putting together tonight on this card, obviously you mix and match with all the stamps that you've got. There's lots of ideas that come to my mind since I've having done the first one. So that's the background card. So I'm just going to put that to one side for the time being. We've then got a piece of white cardstock here that is 14 centimetres square. Okay, that we're actually going to do a little bit of background onto when we get round to that. So that is that's our basis of our card. There's a couple of other bits as well, a bit of cardstock that you're going to need for the additional pieces, but just bear with me on that, and then we'll talk about those a little bit when we're going along. So I've got the Tree of Life stamp in my stamp press. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been using it in my stamp press. I've just been using it on a block. I am a bit of an old-fashioned bird, really. I do tend to still use my blocks most of the time. But I thought, you know what, to save any mishaps, we'll do it on the stamp press, and I know lots of you use the stamp press, so that will it will show up nicely on there. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to take a piece of card. I'm just going to stamp this out just to show you how detailed it is, and then I'm actually going to stamp it out onto something else. So this is just a random stamp out. Mark's just popped a light on, if it's helping at all.
Well, We've got the sun
streaming in, and we're actually still at the unit, so we're working from here, and the sun is absolutely streaming in this evening, which is marvellous because we haven't seen sunshine for such a long time, have we? Anyway, I digressed. Just say if there's any shadows or anything, and then we'll alter them accordingly. Okay, so I'm just stamping this out purely on just some white card, just so that I can, I see, I'm confident this is going to stamp all right. Look, there you go. I didn't even put my magnets on, look. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you how beautiful it stamps, how beautiful the design is, and I think already you can see, if you haven't received this already at home, which I know that lots and lots and lots of you already have, and I thank you on behalf of Julie, because they really are beautiful stamps. But you can see there's a lot of scope in here, absolutely. I never buy a stamp unless I can use it for 5 different things at least. Okay, you might think that's a little bit, but when I first started stamping many moons ago, I used to buy a stamp just because I liked it. And that's really not the way to go. You need to buy a stamp because you know that you can use it an awful lot. This one, absolutely, without doubt, you can. Okay, so I just thought I would do that just to show you how lovely that stamps out. Okay, I'm just going to park this just for a second while we actually do our backgrounds. So I want to create backgrounds. I'm going to show you, just cutting this piece of, it's just white smooth cardstock. It doesn't matter what it is really, we're going to spray onto it, all right? So we're going to make a background card now. Paper. Now I'm actually going to be using one of That's Crafty's sprays. Now this is one of my favourites. Normally they would have some really smart labels on, but we often get ours through when they're first been born, as such, when they're brand new, and sometimes the labels haven't been done, so that's why I've only got a normal label on. But basically what it is, it's Christmas green, and it's a luster spray from That's Crafty, and you'll see it's absolutely beautiful. Can you see the gold coming out of it already? All right, so what you've got is you've got that beautiful green coming through, which is the Christmas green. All right, but I'm doing a little bit more on this side, as you can see, because what I want to do is I want to just pop these two together. I did have clean hands before I started, which is most unusual for me. Anybody that knows me well knows I very rarely have clean hands, and it's not because I'm not a clean person. It's because because I'm always doing this sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and move this.
Philippa and Brian like your sprays as well.
Oh, Philippa and Brian, absolutely. I know. Of course, Brian is also on the That's Crafty design team, a very valued member, I might add, and I know he really likes the sprays as well. But so you can see you've got that beautiful gold coming through. The reason why I'm actually showing you that is because it makes all the difference when you do the next part. So I'm going to leave that on there. Obviously what you would do is you would dry this off with a heat tool. I have to say I do like to leave these to naturally dry if you can, because I do think, I don't know if anybody else has an opinion on this, but I do think that sprays do dry so nicely, but sometimes, you know, we don't have the time to wait. A, because we're impatient, and B, because we really need the product to be there and ready. So I do have another piece here already, and it's all dried, and it did swoosh a little bit more than what the last one did, because I put a little bit more on. So then when I put another piece of paper on the top and sort of like moved it around a bit, you've got those beautiful ripples. It reminds me, and I think it's because I really, really, really want to go on holiday. I'm not going on holiday, but I really would like to. But I think it's because I'm thinking of the, you know, when the sea goes onto the sand when you're on holiday, and it runs up and then it runs back and it creates that really lovely ripple. It gives that effect there. I'm not sure if you can see it. Can you see that, Mark, on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all nice and dry. It really needs to be bone dry before you then stamp onto it. Okay. The reason being, obviously, it stamps better. It stamps a lot better, and yeah, it's just the right way, to do it. So nice and dry. The ideal, if there is an ideal, the ideal really would be to do it the day before. But not many of us crafters plan projects that far ahead. So anyway, again, I'm going to be using the VersaFine Clair for stamping, exactly the same as I did on the first one, to show you the clarity of the stamp. All right, so just bring that into the middle there. So I like the VersaFine Clair. It's a really lovely crisp finish, and it's a really good black. And that might sound silly, but I think everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. Black isn't always a straightforward black, but this one is called Nocturne. For those that haven't used it, it's a nice crisp pigment ink. If you're quick enough, you can actually, well, I emboss with it all the time. It dries quite quickly, as normally pigment inks do. All right, but if you're quick enough, you can actually emboss with it. I'm not wanting to emboss with it this evening, but if you did, it makes a really lovely result. Okay, so I think I'm really, really happy with that. Just got a tiny bit there where there's a little bit more mica that's come out the spray. There we go. I didn't even need to re-ink the stamp. It's that good. Okay, so this is what we would do, and I've actually stamped this. I then went on to stamp this on the cardstock that I've coloured another 3 times. 3 times is more than enough. If you want to go and do a 4th just in case, then absolutely fine. You've got that for other things, and there are lots of other reasons for using the leaves to decorate other projects as you're going along. Okay, so what you can do is put them in a little bag, and then just keep them alongside the stamp. Keep them in the bag with the stamp, or wherever you store your stamps, and then you know where it is for when you want to do it next. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that to one side, and also the stamp press, because we don't need that anymore. Now, as if by magic, here we go. Now, I have to I know I will be thanking now my lovely husband for actually did you hear that? Just to make sure that I did actually mention him. He actually sat and did this for me last night while I was busy doing something else. So thank you, Mark. I do appreciate that. Normally it keeps me very quiet. I use my Pergamano scissors. Actually, no, I rephrase this. They're not the scissors I use for Pergamano. Okay, they are actually an older pair that I had for my Pergamano, my parchment craft. But I've actually got myself a new pair because I used these that many times. All right, what did Julie say? What? He is Julie. You know I wouldn't do without him. And I'm definitely not swapping him after 38 years. No chance.
Brian as well. Thank you, Brian.
Brian feels the pain for you. Right, I've just popped those back in there because we're actually going to do a couple of other things before we finish, because these are actually going to create our wreath. All right, so hopefully you're all enjoying it so far. If not, then obviously you've gone and started watching EastEnders. Anyway, so right, Mark's grumbling because we don't actually watch EastEnders in our house. Right, so I'm just going back to the top when I was just chatting with you about the layers. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to create something with this layer here, which is actually going to be the background for the wreath. Now, you may feel as if I'm dotting around a little bit, but everything will come together, I promise you. All right, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put that over there. Now, I know it's a bit boring at the moment because it's white on white. You can't really see a lot, but it will be, I promise you, once I get going with this. Now, this is going to take a few minutes, but we've got plenty of time. But I do have one that I've finished. If everybody feels as if they're getting a little bit fed up, with what I'm doing, which I don't think, hopefully you won't. But we're going to create, now I say this loosely, all right. I say this very loosely in case we've got any Scottish people in the house tonight. All right. I'm going to create some tartan pattern. Now, that's actually going to give me carte blanche. When I say tartan pattern, I'm not going to say tartan because you're all going to shout, well, that's not a proper tartan, which actually it won't be. But you know what? We'll call it a faux tartan. Now, I'm actually going to be using Philippa's the Stylish Stripes A5 stencil and mask set. I love it. Absolutely love it, Philippa. Absolutely loved your last collection. Can't wait for your next one. So I do hope that there will be another one in the offing. Right, so I feel that this is so useful. We've used it in a couple of workshops already. Everybody commented on how useful it was, and as soon as I thought about looking at the traditional colours on this particular project, I straight away thought of Philippa stencil. Okay, so what we're going to do is, now, like I say, it's very loosely called a tartan, all right? Please don't shout at me down the camera, will you? If you say, oh, Jo, come on, that is very loosely put. But I genuinely think that artistic license and all that jazz. So, you know, just go with the flow. Right, so I think it was Tracy. I do forgive me. The other night, she actually does the same as what I do with regards to a post-it note. You know, when we're going on and we're actually starting, right, so I'm starting to actually put some colour onto this while I'm speaking, obviously.
It says it can be your own tartan and your own clan.
Hey, oh, should we call it the Channon Clan? That's good. It's got a good ring to it. Channon Clan. Who was that, Sue? Sue's. Oh, Sue's, that's it. It's the Channon Clan Tartan. So should we get Mark to, I'll make up some fabric in it, and then the next time we meet, I'll get Mark to wear a kilt. Yeah, and don't you laugh, Brian, because I'll get you to do it as well. Right, so at the moment, the colours that I'm using, peel paint, and I'm using an oxide. The reason why I'm saying I'm using an oxide is because I'm going to use a mixture of oxide and the regular distress ink. All right, that's purely because I've got some oxides in some colours and some regular, what I call the regular distress inks in others, and they just all went to what I was looking for. All right, so at the moment you can see exactly, I think, where I'm going to be going with this. I absolutely love making backgrounds. I could sit all day making backgrounds. It doesn't get me anywhere, only a big stash in the corner, but I just love making them, and I know I'm not on my own. And I think we could actually have a club, a background making club, because honestly, there's
quite a few.
I know there is.
Days doing just solely background.
Oh, I know there is. Now, slightly got that off kilter there, but we won't worry. Off kilter. Oh, sorry, that wasn't meant to be funny, but right. So I've gone like that. So I'm just going to turn it round like so. Now, obviously, I'm doing this in the traditional colours, but you can do it in whatever colour you like. You could do it in blues. There's some beautiful blue tartans around. Let's try and get this straight this time. That would be good. Is that straight? Let's pop it up there. That's it. I'll tell you what, I'll use the line at the top. That would be good, Jo. There we go. Right.
Apparently Paul's got a kilt, so I can borrow his.
Oh, nice. Oh, Paul's got a kit. Has he? I didn't know that. Oh, I wonder what he had a kilt for. Oh, I wonder if it was part of his uniform, was it?
No, I don't think so.
No. Just to explain, Paul was in the army. He hasn't got a job that requires getting dressed up in a kilt.
Well, he's not Scottish. Scottish, so I'm not sure.
And he's definitely not Scottish. I'll work that one out anyway. Right, so you can see I'm obviously building the colours up. I've gone slightly lighter, same colour, peel paint, but I've gone slightly lighter in how I'm actually applying it, all right? Because what's happening is, obviously, when I'm laying it down onto the white, I know this sounds obvious, but when I'm laying it down onto the white now, it's also going onto the colour that I previously put down. So, of course, we're getting over blending, not over blending, but I'm blending over the actual original one that, that's just wiggling there. That's annoying. Not to worry, because it's going to be, there we go. I think that's about it. Yep, suited. Right, so I'm just going to pop that underneath now, and you can see already where I'm coming from, or where I'm going. Well, where I've come from and then where I'm going. Where I've been. Right, okay, so that's our greens. Already you can see I love it. I really think it's fab. All thanks to Philippa Stencil, because obviously without this we would be basically putting a piece of card down, measuring, putting another piece of card down, fastening it down, using 6 different hands to hold the card down, and then moving it along. We will take ages. We will be here till tomorrow. So I do think this stencil is worth its weight in gold, and I know that I'm going to use it until, until. So that's it. Little bit on the skew on the first one. I do beg your pardon. If I was doing this as sending it out, I would maybe jiggle about with it and do it again. So, but for demonstration purposes, we're going to leave it at that. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lift that up because I want to pop it in.
Michelle Owen's come in.
Oh, hello, Michelle. Thank you so much for coming and seeing us. Oh, lovely. Right, so I'll just pop that just like so. So at the minute I'm going to have to just put my fingers on there, but I'm going to just use that. I'm going in now with exactly the same colour.
You're using the shaving foam technique.
Oh, I love the shaving foam technique. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Oh, I've done that for ages, actually. Yeah. We must do that in the workshop, ladies. So, if Jean and Irene, I know you're watching. We really must do that in the workshop, because we haven't done that for quite a few years, actually. So that would be really good to do. Actually, what I could do is I could just pop that out there. Look. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to get some stripes going on, all right? And I know there's some white patches, but don't worry about that. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the mask bits.
Samantha Hughes wants to know where we are.
Where I am? Ooh, that's a good question.
No, where we do the workshop.
No, I'm joking, Samantha, honestly. We're in Lincolnshire. There's not many people come to Lincolnshire to do workshops, because from down south, certainly, because it's a bit of a trail. But we do have some lovely bed and breakfasts in the village, and also in our next village, which is Woodall Spa, we also have some super B&Bs there as well. So if you ever wanted to come and make it a weekend, we're actually in Coningsby, which is actually an RAF base. We're not RAF, as you know, but oh, are you Samantha? Oh, of course she is. She's in. Yes, she is. She's in. Oh, yes, of course. You are. You're not too far away. You're in. Yeah, you're in driving distance of our workshops, certainly. Now, Sam, you like your mixed media, don't you? So I know that. Now, can you see what's happening now? So what I've done is I've took away the actual stencil, and I'm now bringing in all the, well, not all the pieces, but...
Just come in as well.
Oh, hello, Maxine. Thank you for joining us. I'm bringing in some, so that this is the mask part of it. The stencil, sorry, and these are the masks. That's the difference between one and the other. A lot of people ask me that. I said, what's the difference between a mask and a stencil? But that's exactly what it is, because a stencil, you're actually going through. The mask, you're actually covering up. All right, so that's the best way that I can actually explain it to you. So I'm hoping that's coming through nicely on the screen, because it looks all right this end. It's looking all right. Now then, we need to add another colour. So what I'm going to add is Lumberjack Plaid. Now this is quite a dark colour, and this is actually quite a new ink pad for me, because I didn't get it when it originally came out, so this is quite inky. So I'm actually going to just knock a little bit off before I go in. All right, so I'll try not to waste too much ink, because that really does bug me when I have to waste much ink. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just... let's create a space. I'm just going to take that off, and that's it. I've got some on my brush now. Now, I'm not going to go too heavy with it. The original one that I did, that Philippa has very, very kindly shared on the page, is very much darker than what I'm actually doing here. I did say to her when I first did it, I did say I wasn't quite sure whether I'd actually over-egged the pudding a little bit, as the saying goes. I don't know whether that's just a...
Ryan seems to think the Channon Tartan's coming along for.
Do you think it's going to suit you guys? Yay! Right, so what I'm doing, as you can see, I'm just holding the actual stencil in place. Now, I could stick it down and, you know, and do that. But what I want to do is I want to obviously get a chivvy on so that we can get everything done in time. There we go. Let's just take that off there. I've got something actually to share with you. It's totally irrelevant to what we're doing tonight, but I think you'll be quite... while I'm doing this, I'll tell you about it. I think you'll be quite interested. Our son Carl, because you know we've got Carl, he's 32, and we've got Kate, who's, well, she's just 30 actually. Yeah. So Carl is, for those that don't know, is actually a climbing instructor and lives in the Peak District. Well, he may as well live on the Peak District, but he doesn't. He lives in Sheffield, and is actually at the moment, is actually with his lovely, well, with our daughter-in-law, our lovely Chloe. They are walking the coast to coast, would you believe? Now, the coast to coast, for those that don't know, starts at St Bees in the Lake District, and actually finishes off in Robin Hood's Bay in Yorkshire, which of course Robin Hood's Bay, for those that don't know, Robin Hood's Bay is actually near to, almost near to, a couple of miles from Whitby. So I do believe it is approximately 180 miles in total. They are hoping to do it in, well, they're hoping, all being well, to do it in 15 days. Yeah, so they're on day 6, and actually they've had a down day today. They've had a day in the hostel today, because they can't continually go from one day to the next. They're doing approximately 20-25 miles a day, and it's actually they do need to rest, or they basically will just burn themselves out. So yeah, so this is what Carl and Chloe and their best friends Bert and Ellie are actually doing at the moment. So to say that we're enormously proud is a slight understatement. Well, you know, I'm forever going on about my kids, but then don't we all? Yeah, it's an amazing, well, obviously they haven't finished it yet, but to be quite frank, even if they didn't get to the end, the intention's good, isn't it? They will do though, because Carl is a very determined young man. So yeah. So if anybody knows anybody that's done it, I would love to hear about it, because it's an amazing feat. It really is. Yesterday they did just over 20 miles. It rained from the second that they actually got out of their tent. Oh yes, they're camping, by the way, to make matters worse. The minute they came out of their tent to the minute that they went back in their tent, it poured with rain all day. So yeah, so I think they deserve a medal, to be quite frank. So they're having a down day today. They're in a hostel, which is lovely. They've been able to have a shower and something hot to eat, which is lovely. And yeah, so just thought I'd tell you that while I was just doing that last bit. There we go. So hopefully you like the tartan. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going over the whole thing, and if there's anything that hasn't quite blended, or there's a little bit that I think, oh, that's a bit funny, then it just blends the whole thing in. So what do we think? Do we like the Channon Clan Tartan? And it's rather nice background at the same time as well. There we go. So I'm just going to very, very quickly wipe that little bit off there so we don't get it all over. Is everybody still with us, Mark?
Yeah, I think yeah, they're liking it.
Marvellous, thank you very much. It's a nice little thing to do, and I do think that it's worth the effort. Every single time you do it, it's going to look different, because it depends on the pressure, obviously, of how much ink you're putting on, how much blending, how much turning, and how many different colours as well. So you could do different reds, different greens. You could really go to town with it. Now, to give it a little bit of zhuzh, I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle spray on. It's actually a pale gold. I'm sure lots of you have got some lovely sprays in your... Oh, that's a little bit heavy, but not to worry. We've got some... the wreath's going to go over there anyway. So we're just putting that on there. There we go. Let me just... This is quite a strong spray, so there we go.
It's a bit too small for a kilt. And needs to cover the important bits, look.
Did you hear what he just said? It only needs to cover the important bits up. Excuse me a second while I just put my heat tool on. I'm just going to dry this really quickly. So you've still got that lovely pattern, but you've also got that really, really gorgeous gold spray going on. Now, I'm sure lots of you have got these additions to your craft stash with regards to sprays and all the inks and everything. So hopefully that's just giving you a little idea of how to actually use that. So when I just twist that around a bit, we've now got some amazing texture. Does that look all right, Mark?
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, we've got some lovely, lovely texture. We've got that lovely glimmer, and we've also got that tartan in the background. So it looks a little bit 3D at the moment. But like I say, that's all thanks to Philippa's fantastic stencil. Right, so just wipe my fingers. There we go. Right, so now what we're going to do is we need to do something to create the wreath. What I've got here is, how are we doing for time? Right, I'll chug on a little bit. Right, so, oh, no, it's okay, we're nearly there. Now, what I've got here, I've got 2 circles. Now, I did actually measure them, because I know that somebody will ask me. It's actually 9.5 centimetres from this side to that one. And then I've used a smaller one in the middle, which is 8.5. I've doubled them up to give it a little bit more rigidity. All right, it's just ordinary your circle dies. So yeah, just whatever you've got. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to I'm going to have to be really super quick on this, else I'm not going to get it finished. Right, so I'm going to actually cover it in embossing powder. So I've got a Versamark. All right, so I'm going to just put my Versamark over the top. Now, I know I'm going to cover a lot of this up with the leaves, but I feel that it's worth the effort. Now, the embossing powder I'm using is actually the Wow. It's a metallic gold rich ultra high. I know this is a big pot. I use a lot of it. That's why we have a big pot. But I do decant it into a pot because I think it's much easier to actually to work with. All right, so this is a super one as well for using for your getting your layers, using it for an ultra thick. So what we're going to do is we're just going to very quickly heat that up, and you'll see how beautiful this gold is. I love it, absolutely love it. It's my favourite embossing powder. I won't use anything else. And you can see how gorgeous this actually works. Now, you're going to get that really lovely pitted effect, which is what I'm looking for. If you don't want to do this, that's not a problem. All you need to do is just put it in gold card. Oh, I caught that little bit. We don't want a fire, do we? We've had one across the road this afternoon, so we don't want another one. Not anything to do with us, by the way. Just thought I'd point that out. Right, so obviously at the moment that is like super, super hot. Please be careful. No matter how many times I tell people in workshops, sometimes they think they want to just pick it up and ooh and ah about it, which is lovely, but it is super, super hot. If you wanted to go ahead and actually do another coat, no problem at all. Give it a couple of seconds, go over again with your VersaFine ink pad, cover it with the embossing powder, heat it again, and then you've got a lot thicker. Okay, hope that's explained that. Any questions, just fire them away. I don't know whether my crew member, Mr. Channon, will actually pass them on or what. I don't know. He's still awake, he said. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to start assembling. Where is the here we go. Do you know, I've been here 2 minutes and now look at my desk. Right, so I've got my tape on the back here. Let me just very quickly take this off. I would use glue on this, but this card does tend... I haven't got a lot of nails actually. I do so much mixed media and I've got my hands in so much stuff most of the time that it's just not worth having nails, or posh nails anyway. Right, so I've got my card. I'll just pop this on the top here. Just eyeball that up like so. And then we're going to just pop this on the top there. So I am going to use my glue for that. Where is it? Oh, silly bear, where is it? Here we go. Right. There we go. Obviously you use your glue of choice. Mine is the all-purpose from That's Crafty. I like an all-purpose glue because we don't have to think about whether it does this or this or that. There we go. So pop in, that's our background. Quite pleased with that. It's really nice, that. I'm quite happy with that. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to place our ring. Right, now I'm going to tell you now, Brian, before you say anything, I know I should be using cardboard. And you're tittering now, I know you are. But what I am going to use is, I've actually got, right, so I've actually got medium. There we go. There we go. I've got heavy body matte medium because I want to lift it up slightly. I know we can use cardboard and I think it's a marvellous idea, but I completely forgot until I was just about to go live, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to get so told off by Brian. Brian's our eco hero. Now,
He's clocked you.
He's clocked me, yeah. Right, now then, I did actually go ahead All right. Forgive me for actually jumping ahead with this one, but I'm going to just explain. I've actually used the candle. Now, this one is actually from, I'll bring this stamp set in. This is from the Christmas Elements. Love this one. Absolutely fantastic. I love this tag, that little tree. I think there's so much scope to it. I think this is just beautiful. It really is. And also it's a more of a winter. These two ones here, we can use them for winter cards as well. But I adore this snowflake. All right, so this is the Christmas Elements, and I know that lots of the team have used that over the last week to show you all the different things. I've actually coloured them in using my Sweet Poppy water brush pens, which I mean, obviously you colour them in whatever medium that you like. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our little pot of leaves and we're going to just place them. These have all been cut out of that. Can you hear him? Can you all hear him? Those that know Mark, honestly. Now, what I've got in this syringe is matte medium. And you might think, well, that's a bit of a strange thing to do, Jo, but it actually works really well. I wouldn't suggest that you actually keep it in your syringe for any length of time. I'm only putting it in the syringe for speed this evening, I wouldn't leave it in the syringe. I'm actually just putting it in there tonight because it'll be easier than using a cocktail stick. So some of the leaves, and he followed instructions to the letter because that's what he does. He does. He's really good at doing this sort of thing. Some of them have been cut out singly. Just move your actual project around rather than trying to move yourself around. Some of them have got 2 leaves. You'll see by the way that Julie's drawn them that they all really work beautifully well together. Some, like I say, leaving them in 2s, some leaving them in 1s. And then what we can do, look, we can just put 1 underneath there, make a 3, make a little trio. You just do as many or as little as, how you want to do them, really. I mean, you might all be put off by this and think, oh, my Lord, I'm not going to cut all those out. You'll see I'm going to have loads left. And then Mark's going to go, why did I have to cut all those out? But you know why? Because I really like this Christmas card for my own cards as well. So I won't send them to anybody that's seen it being made. But you never know. Get some made for Christmas, so they'll be used. They will be used. I also think that they're going to make a super embellishment for all sorts of things. I use them for the tops. I did. Obviously, we all had the absolute joy of using them, using all the stamps in the new collection. And one of the ones that I had lots of fun with, using them in different ways, were the baubles. What are you laughing at, Mark?
It's a good idea. Everybody now wants a Mark.
Well, I'm sorry, but he's staying here. I'm sure he wouldn't mind going out and about. And should we send him on a road trip, Brian? Road trip. Mark's road trip. They want him. Yeah, I tell you what you ought to do. Right, and I am joking, by the way. Do all your stamping up and then send them through the post to Mark. Oh, right. With a stamped addressed envelope. Oh, and a £50 cheque, he said. Nah. It's cheap at half the price, I'll tell you. I only had to cook his tea while he was doing it for me. There we go. Right, so you can see it's really, I am speeding along. You'll maybe take a little bit more time because actually there's great pleasure in doing this.
Yeah, Caroline's got her own John.
Yay, you've got a John, haven't you? Yeah, looking forward to seeing you both on Sunday. And of course the crew. when I mean the crew, for those that don't know.
My mother thinks I'm her favourite son-in-law.
My mum, right, calls Mark her favourite son-in-law. For those that don't know, you're going to think, oh, that's a little bit. But don't worry, I'm the only daughter. So she might have copious amounts of daughter-in-laws, but she's only got one son-in-law. Right, but it's still nice, Mum. Mum's just come back from Cyprus, so she's feeling rather cold, I would expect at the moment.
She's got her thermals on.
Yeah, so, and now she's complaining about the heat in Cyprus, perhaps. Anyway, I'm sure she wasn't complaining about the heat. Right, so you can see what you've got now. You can get a little bit sort of ovalish if you're not careful. I don't think even that's a word, but never mind. But what you do is, because you're using like the matte medium or using something that is a movable glue, you can actually just wiggle them around and put them where they're supposed to go. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my candle, just lift my candle a tad over there. That's it, so that it just sits on top rather than at the bottom. Just very quickly, just pop some single ones. Just, oh, that's just a little twinny set there. Here we go, look. They're so beautifully done. Just so individually designed by Julie. They're just
Susie,
lovely.
I think she's just got a cat.
You just got a cat. Oh, I get you. You haven't got one that can actually cut out. No. Well, Kate and Ryan have got 2 kittens that are almost a year old, and no, they don't cut out either. But I'll share their names with you because it's highly amusing. They're called Pete and Helen. Don't ask. Don't go there. Honestly. Anyway, does that look about even? Does it look even from there, Mark? Yeah. Well, you'd say that, wouldn't you? Eh?
Yeah,
right. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Right. So, what we're going to do, just as a little added extra, these are just something that I've got in my stash. I'm sure lots of us around Christmas time, well, all sorts of times of the year, we all have little bits and pieces like this that we can actually, I'm going to have to just lift that up, that we can use for these sort of projects. So all they are, they're just little bells. Just pop in some matte medium under there. You're not going to see any of that, but the bells just sit in there. And if you need to just put an extra leaf over the top if it's just that little bit showing a little bit. There we go. So we've got that lovely the lovely bells going on there. So we've got movement there. Make sure you've got a nice little bit of movement because that really helps. I'm going to show you how many leaves we've still got. We won't show Mark though, because he could have done it in half the time. There we go. I've got loads left. So if I wanted to thicken it out a little bit more in places, carry on. You do as many or as little as you like.
Got it off 2 stamps,
you could maybe have got it off maybe 2 stamps, you're right, Mark, but you know what? Make him suffer. Right. Very quickly, I'm just going to colour. This is one of the foilables. But as you can see, I haven't foiled it. We don't have to foil them. You can just use them as is and just colour them in. Just going to very, very quickly colour this. And I mean quickly because obviously I know I don't want to overkeep you all. And then you're going to say next time, oh, God, that Jo Channon, she kept me for ages. Right, so there we go. I mean, you'll take a bit more time, obviously. And colour in much nicer than that. I would normally as well. and do some lovely shading. But yeah, I think that's giving you the idea of what we're all about. There we go, just putting those there, like so. Right, so it's ever so quick. I'll put a little bit more in there because I don't want to. There we go, just to give it a little bit more shading, same colour, but and then using the red just for the berries. Just try to avoid the little highlight that Julie's put in, because I think that looks super lovely if you leave it white. And because the tips of these pens are so fine, you can get into all those beautiful. I love the foilables, so versatile. We did a super class with them. Well, everybody said it was super. That sounds awfully, you know, as if I'm being a bit boastful there, but I don't mean to be. But the other week, and everybody enjoyed them. Could not believe how easy they were to foil. And how lovely they are to actually pop onto your project. So for those that hadn't used it, now I'm just going to use this foilable. Now just put a little bit of matte medium just under there, like so, just at the top there. Okay, and then just to finish it off, I've got another one of the foilables, just bringing that in, and I did actually foil this one because I wanted to show you the difference for those that hadn't seen. I know most of you have, because you've all been really lovely and following everybody all week with all the projects, but this one is the one that I have foiled, and I've actually done it with the holographic. The Wow foils, in my opinion, are the best to use. The reason why I did it in the gold, obviously, is to match the whole gold, you know, the traditional theme. But of course, I personally think that this would look equally as nice in silvers and blues. Now, I think that's it done. On the original one, I did actually do a little bit of embossing on the background just to give it some snow effect. I'm not going to go any further because I know that I don't want to overstay my welcome. I hope that you've all enjoyed it. Is that in the right place there, Mark, for everybody to see? Right in the middle. Down a little bit. Okay, down a bit. There we go. I'm down. You're below. You're behind me. There we go. There we go. So I'm thrilled to be part of the team, and I'm thrilled to be able to do a live. Haven't done one in such a long time. I hope I haven't kept you too long, and you haven't got too fed up. And yes, all the stockists, and there's lots and lots of the lovely Julie Hickey stockists are all named at the top of the page. So pop in, just have a little look there, and have a look to see if you've got a local one. That would be super. And if not, obviously I know that we all do obviously mail order, and yeah, we'll be more than happy to send them out. I know personally our stocks are getting low because they've been super popular, and I haven't even done a workshop on them yet, so I can't wait. Right, can we just pop the camera back a second, just so that I can say my cheerios? Do you mind?
Here we go, hold on.
There you go. You see, he doesn't let me, I'm not responsible for the camera, you see, so there we go. Rotate your phone, it says. Oh, there we go. I'm fine. Right, okay. No, I'm upside down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Am I upside? I am, look. I'm standing on my head. Oh, how clever is that? I haven't stood on my head for many a year. Right, well, thank you. Absolutely. I'm thrilled to be able to do this, and thank you, Julie, for allowing me the time to spend with all your lovely people, and hopefully I'll be back again soon to do one, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've been able to see a completely different way of using the Tree of Life. because I personally think there's so much mileage in that stamp. I really, really do. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with it. And any questions that haven't been answered, or my crew hasn't picked them up, I'll go back and have a little look. And but thank you ever so much. I hope it's been okay, Julie, and sorry about me being upside down twice, but you know. Thank you to Mark. He is a trooper, honestly. He has to put up with me all the time, but I just want to say good night to everybody, and thank you ever so much. Thank you.